everyone, it's Susan Jones and welcome back to my Sunday Spotlight. This week I'm going to go ahead and add on to my distance learning playlist, and I'm going to share 3 websites or apps that I have loved to use during distance learning. So let's dive right in. The first website I want to mention is Seesaw, and I'm not going to talk too much about it because I've already spent, an entire video sharing how I make lessons and what those kind of look like and how you can share information through Seesaw. But I absolutely love it, especially for grades kindergarten, 1st, and 2nd grade. And my son Theo, who's heading into kindergarten, was in pre-K last year, and he loves getting to try out all the games that I make on Seesaw. Here's a couple pictures of him playing some of the math games I make in my math club, and he genuinely just loves it. It's really intuitive and easy to use for, like I said, those young learners. So if you do want to know a little bit more about Seesaw, go ahead and click the video down in my description after you watch this one. The second website or app I want to mention is called Screencastify, and it's not exactly a website, but it is a Chrome extension or an extension that you can put on your browser so that you can share your screen with your students. I love this for so many reasons, and I'm going to go ahead and insert a little video of me using it right here just to show you some of the things that I can do. Let's see that. Once you have what you want to screencast, you'll click the little button and you can toggle on your microphone. You can toggle on your webcam if you want them to see you, and then you can pick if you want your browser tab or your desktop. I press desktop, and then it will let me pick. I have 2, so it lets me show screen 1, and you can press share, and it will count down for you 3, 2, 1. Once you are in and Screencastify is working, you will go ahead and see yourself down at the bottom. It will do a little 3, 2, 1 countdown like you probably saw, and that will tell you that it is time to go ahead and record. So I would definitely use this for teaching your students what you want them to do instead of simply sending them an assignment. This can be a great way to connect with them. They can actually see you, and you can help explain the things that usually get them tripped up in terms of the lesson itself, and if there's anything technology-wise that they might need a little help explaining. So here I pulled up my phonics poems, which are now digital. I did this last spring. So I would use these, I would give them 1 poem a week in the classroom, sometimes 2. And I, in the classroom, really like to read the poem out loud with them so they could hear the correct way it was supposed to be read. So doing something like Screencastify would allow them to hear the poem and see you read it just like you would in the classroom. So I would explain to them that our poem for the week is The Tall Man, and we are going to work on the word family an, A-N. Down here at the bottom, they can see it, and then they can actually go ahead and listen to you read it. You could tell them maybe after I read this out loud, I want you to pause the video and I want you to read it out loud as well. Then you can show them how to drag the circles to find the different and words. And you can explain to them anything that you need, like even though these are both the same word man, I do want you to, still circle them. And then you can show them the next step, which would be page 2. And here it says type here. You can explain to them, you double click on the box and you can type your name in here. Oops, Mrs. Jones, and then list 4 of the and words you found in the poem. So I know in my classroom, I've had students in the past write man twice. So this would just be a good time to tell them we want to write 4 different words that we hear or that we read in the poem. So we would write man, then we could do can, etc. So you could just explain to them how to do that. And then here it says drag the circles to only the real words. You could explain that. And it also says copy and paste. So this would be a good time to tell them, right click, press copy, and then you can right click again and press paste to get a new box. So you can go ahead and get all the boxes you need to complete the assignment. And then when you are done, you just go right up here to Screencastify. You will press stop. And what it will do is it will actually show up in your Screencastify kind of section, and it automatically shares it to your Google Drive. So when you want to share it with them, you can go ahead and get this shareable link that you can press, and that you can just send to them, or you can even share it to your classroom right away, publish it to YouTube, or download right to your desktop and upload it wherever you need. So after seeing how to use Screencastify, I hope you can find ways that you could use it to show lessons to your students and model your work, and also use it to share with parents, especially if you're a K-2 teacher, and share with parents exactly how to access things on the websites that you will be using to communicate with them through distance learning. With the free version, you are allowed to record videos up to 5 minutes long, and you can trim them, but you can't really edit them. Again, you don't necessarily need it unless you're going to be filming much longer videos, which you might be if you're doing a modeled mini lesson. So when you go to the Screencastify website, which I will link down below, they do have some educator discounts going on right now that your admin or you might want to look into. So all that information will be down in the description. The third website I want to mention is called Really Great Reading, and it is a website made by reading specialists that are designed to give you tools to help you teach your students how to read. One of the main questions K-2 teachers are asking right now is, how can I teach my students how to read and teach them phonics skills without, being with them, without them manipulating those letter tiles like we do in the classroom? So Really Great Reading actually has a free tool called Free Letter Tiles, which is so cool, and they can actually go ahead and manipulate those letters and sounds just like we would in a real classroom. It kind of mimics that experience. Something really cool that you can do through Zoom, and I believe you can do this through Google Meet as well, but I'm familiar with Zoom, is that if you are working with a student one-on-one, or you're able to have a little small group, you can actually, while displaying your screen, so while you're displaying these letter tiles, you can allow your students to have control of the mouse. So you can ask them to go ahead and build a word, and they can do that with the letter tiles. So when you go to the Really Great Reading website, you can see a little bit more about them and what they have. And they also have an entire section here for COVID-19 response and resources if you want to take a look at what they have. They have a home connection, some parent-friendly PDFs, but I wanted to show you today this letter tile free play. And when you click on it, you can choose between touch input if your students are using an iPad, or mouse input, which I mentioned, I think, before this video, that if you wanted to go ahead and share your mouse and control with the student, you would go ahead and use that. And here you can see they have all the basic tiles up here, as well as digraphs over here. They also have advanced vowels, some different consonant spellings, prefixes and suffixes, chunks, and some others. So they have the vowels in a different color, and they have capital letters as well. So really you can use this with students from pre-K and beginning readers all the way up to second or even third grade, depending on your students. And once you give them a word that you might want them to spell, you can say, spell the word cat. They can drag down the tiles that they want to spell cat. And then, or you could, build this and have them blend out that word together. Just as with the classroom, you could try to then have them change the word cat to the word bat. So let's move this out of the way and we'll bring down bat. There's so many different ways you can use this, but this free kind of letter tile ability is a great option for those of you doing virtual learning, so you don't have to have your students miss out on this important phonics skill and practice. So those are just 3 of my favorite apps or websites to use during distance learning, and I hope those will help you out this fall. If you have any other ones, I know there's so many more, please go ahead and leave them down in the comments below so other teachers can read them and see them and research them and see if they want to use them as well. As always, if you like this video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up so I know. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel and click that bell. That way you're notified of every new week's video. See you next Sunday. Bye.